Good morning and welcome back to Saturday Morning Switch. Man, it feels good to be back to reading off a script and not improv Zeldering again. As this episode airs, Splatoon 2 has just come out, but we got our first take of the finished product last weekend with the Splatfest world premiere. Fans of cake went up against fans of ice cream in the first of many controversial topics which can only be resolved by shooting each other with ink. And, well, ice cream won. Kind of. I mean, us cake squids won more games with a quarter of the player base, so... Anyway, my bitterness aside, it also gave us a chance to properly look over Splatoon 2 and where its strengths and weaknesses lay. So this week, we'll dive right into that before taking a look at the rest of the game in future episodes. Starting off with how it's changed since the test fire a few months back, there's been a bunch of tweaks. Most notably for me was the removal of individual player scores from the final results screen, making it hard to judge just how much of a contribution I'd made to the final victory or defeat. Yes, there is some personal pride and bragging rights there, and yes, this is just the Splatfest thing, and it still appears in other modes. But it's weird to hold back that sort of information for no real reason. There's also been a bunch of balance tweaks to the weapons, as well as introducing their other abilities, detailed in the most recent direct, which I don't feel were present in the test fire. Though I must admit, I completely forgot my dodge roll with the jewelries even existed, so... whoops. One recurring thing I've noticed is the awkwardness of changing weapons. In other games you can swap class or character at the drop of a hat, but no such luck in Splatoon. Hence why you'll only see me using jewelries in this footage. The other, less favourable note is connection issues. While the only ones I had in the test fire came from my internet being a bit weird at the time, this time around I got several communication errors that were on the game's end, not mine, as I was able to reconnect instantly. These all happened within the lobby after one match had ended and it was trying to set up the next instead of join gameplay, but considering I was only playing for an hour, this doesn't give the best impression for how the servers will hold up come launch. I'll blast through some other pet peeves that don't really affect the gameplay experience too much, but caught my eye. When I first started, I ran straight to start playing games and then had to take a few minutes trying to figure out why it wouldn't let me start because I hadn't joined a team, because I assumed you'd do it in those menus. Instead you have to go to a billboard to join a team so you can go into the... why not streamline that? And if you do want to form a group team, then you need 4 players. You can't have a group of 2 who then combines with another group of 2. Sorry. The points you get for winning and levelling up your allegiance are also fairly uniform, with no real nuance for performance. And I had a fair few matches where I was fighting other squads on my side of the war, which makes no sense, as how does that contribute to glorious Team K? But you know, in the moment when you're covering the level with paint and dodging enemy fire, a lot of these irritants melt away. The core gameplay of Splatoon is as strong as ever. And even when I was struggling to precisely aim at opponents, getting peeved at my fairly lame special, or just generally sucking because it took me half an hour to remember I could throw balls of paint, I never felt cheated or that a battle was unwinnable. I was always having fun, to the extent that I'd have happily kept playing if I didn't have other arrangements on the evening of the Splatfest. Fast pacing really does help with that, the game's only lasting a couple of minutes and downtime usually less than a minute. In the time it might take me to finish one match in Destiny, I'll have had 3 or more rounds of Splatoon. Plus the focus on inking turf instead of killing foes helps differentiate it from its competition. Not that it really has any on the Switch right now. Though speaking of inking turf, you are notably screwed if you end up on your opponent's ink. I get not being able to swim through it, but also taking damage and being slowed makes it a death sentence if you take more than a few seconds, which can feel overly cruel at times. I understand why it's a mechanic, but giving players another option while retreating would help to make it feel less like a lost cause. As for the 2 maps in the Splatfest, Starfish Main Stage and Inkblot Art Academy, they were both good fun to play on. There's no particular gimmick or feature that makes either stand out, but they're both well designed to give players plenty of avenues to attack from. If I had one critique, it's that it's hard to tell what vertical surfaces can be inked and what cannot from a glance. The ground has distinct shiny mats which you can't colour, so why not use the same technique on vertical surfaces? But, like most of my complaints, these are small things. Splatoon 2 is still a very fun game and I will... well, I'm recording this on a Friday, so I already have bought it. And Splatfest is just one way to enjoy this title. So stay tuned next week when I delve into the single player and the Ballad of the Squid Sisters. At least there I can't get connection errors. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like, leave us a comment, or subscribe to the channel. The next few videos will be mostly focused on Splatoon 2, though with our usual monthly roundup thrown in as well. So until then, stay fresh, and if you've got the game, maybe I'll see you online. Laters!